we can speak to the Lord as a friend.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Amy Boucher-Pye. Although the world is connected electronically like never before, nothing beats time together in person. As we share and laugh together, we can often sense, almost unconsciously, the other person's emotions by watching their facial movements. Those who love each other, whether family or friends, like to share with each other face-to-face. We see this face-to-face relationship between the Lord and Moses, the man God chose to lead his people. Moses grew in confidence over the years of following God, and he continued to follow him despite the people's rebelliousness and idolatry. After the people worshipped a golden calf instead of the Lord, Moses set up a tent outside of the camp in which to meet God, while the people had to watch from a distance. As the pillar of cloud signifying God's presence descended to the tent, Moses spoke on their behalf. The Lord promised that his presence would go with them. Because of Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection, we no longer need someone like Moses to speak with God for us. Instead, just like Jesus offered his disciples, we can have friendship with God through Christ. We too can meet with him, with the Lord speaking to us as one speaks to a friend.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Exodus chapter 33, verses 7 through 14. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance, while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshipped, each at the entrance to their tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, 'Lead these people,' but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, 'I know you by name, and you have found favor with me.' If you are pleased with me, teach me your ways so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people." The Lord replied, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." That's today's scripture reading from Exodus chapter 33, verses 7 through 14.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we can talk to you as we do with our friends. What a privilege, Lord. May we always show you the reverence you deserve. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Chorus! Attention! Ho!
Airborne!
Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne, every day, we run to the sun, no sweat, not yet, down in the mess hall on my knees, we got nothing to eat but a can of beans, the bread was molded and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne, all the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne, all the way driving on. All the way airborne, all the way driving on.
Early one morning in the drizzling rain, when I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane, Jump Master said 1 minute to go, green light lit with a chilling glow.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on, driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on, driving on, driving on.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne,
airborne, airborne.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's the lowest I've ever seen Dick Vitale since the owner of the Detroit Pistons called him in and told him he should go into broadcasting. Right? I can't tell you what an honor it is to even be mentioned in the same breath with an Arthur Ashe. This is something I certainly will treasure forever. But as was said on the tape, I don't have one of those things going to cue cards, so I'm going to speak longer than anybody else has spoken tonight. That's the way it goes. Time is very precious to me. I don't know how much I have left, and I have some things that I would like to say. Hopefully, at the end, I'll have something that will be important to other people too. But I can't help it. Now when I'm fighting cancer, everybody knows that. And people ask me all the time about how you go through your life and how's your day. And nothing has changed for me. As Dick said, I'm a very emotional, passionate man. I can't help it. That's being the son of Rocco and Angelina Valvano. That just comes with the territory, right? We hug, we kiss, we love. And when people say to me, how do you get through life or each day, it's the same thing. To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special. And so, I can't help. I rode on the plane up today with Mike Krzyzewski, my good friend and a wonderful coach, but people don't realize he's a 10 times better person than he is a coach, and we know he's a great coach. He's meant a lot to me in these last 5 or 6 months of my battle. But when I look at Mike, I think we competed against each other as players. I coached against him for 15 years, and I always have to think about what's important in life is to think, to me, of three things: where you started, where you are, and where you're going to be. Those are the three things that I try and do every day. And, you know, when I think about getting up and giving a speech, I can't help it. I have to remember the first speech I ever gave. I was coaching at Rutgers University. That was my first job. That's wonderful. And I was the freshman coach. That's when freshmen played on freshman teams. And I was so fired up about my first job. I see Lou Holtz, Coach Holtz here. What was it like the first job you had, right? The very first time you stood in the locker room to give a pep talk. That's a special place, the locker room, for a coach to give a talk. So my idol as a coach was Vince Lombardi. And I read this book called Commitment to Excellence by Vince Lombardi. And in the book, Lombardi talked about the first time he spoke before his Green Bay Packer team in the locker room. They were perennial losers. And I'm reading this, and Lombardi said he was thinking, should it be a long talk, a short talk? But he wanted to be emotional. He said, be brief. And this is what he did. Normally you get in the locker room, 25 minutes, a half hour before the team takes the field. You do your little X and O's, and then you give the great Newt Rockne talk. We all do. Speech number 84. You pull them right out. You get ready. Get your squad ready. This is the first one I ever gave. And I read this thing, Lombardi, what he said was he didn't go in. He waited. His team was wondering, where is he? Where is this great coach? He's not there. 10 minutes. He's still not there. 3 minutes before they have to take the field, Lombardi comes in, bangs the door open, and I think you all remember what great presence he had, right? Great presence. And he walked in, and he just walked back and forth like this, just staring at the players. And he said, all eyes on me. And I'm reading this in this book, and I'm getting a picture of this Lombardi before his first game. And he said, gentlemen, we will be successful this year. You can focus on three things and three things only: your family, your religion, and the Green Bay Packers. And he like that. And the rest of it, they knocked the walls down. The rest was history. I said, that's beautiful. I'm going to do that. Your family, your religion, and Rutgers basketball. That's it. I had it. I'm 21 years old. The kids I'm coaching are 19. All right? And I'm going to be the greatest coach in the world, the next Lombardi. And I'm ready. And I'm practicing out right beside the locker room. The manager's telling me, you got to go in. Not yet. Family, religion, Rutgers basketball. All eyes on me. I got it. And now finally he said, 3 minutes. I said, fine. True story. I go to knock the doors open, just like Lombardi. Boom! They didn't open. I almost broke my arm. I was like, it was when it didn't open. Now I'm down. The players are looking. Coach, help the coach up. Help him up. And now I did like Lombardi. I walked back and forth, right? And I was going like that with my arm, get the feeling back in it. And finally I said, gentlemen, all eyes on me. These kids wanted to play. They're 19. Let's go. I said, gentlemen, we'll be successful this year if you can focus on three things and three things only. They said, yeah. I said, your family, your religion, and the Green Bay Packers, I told them. I did that. I remember that. I remember where I came from. It's so important to know where you are. And I know where I am right now. How do you go from where you are to where you want to be? And I think you have to have an enthusiasm for life. You have to have a dream. a goal, and you have to be willing to work for it. I talked about my family. My family is so important. People think I have courage. The courage of my family is my wife, Pam, my 3 daughters here, Nicole, Jamie, Leanne, my mom, who is right here, too. And the screen is flashing up there 30 seconds like I care about that screen right now, huh? I got tumors all over my body. I'm worried about some guy in the back going 30 seconds, huh? You got a lot. Hey, fanabla, buddy. You got a lot. Right, I just got one last thing. I urge all of you, to enjoy your life, the precious moments you have, to spend each day with some laughter and some thought, to get your emotions going, to be enthusiastic every day. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said, nothing great can be accomplished without enthusiasm, to keep your dreams alive in spite of problems, whatever you have, to be able to work hard for your dreams to come true, become a reality. Now I look at where I am now, and I know what I want to do. What I would like to be able to do is to spend whatever time I have left and to give and maybe some hope to others. All right? Arthur Ashe Foundation is a wonderful thing. And AIDS, the amount of money pouring in for AIDS is not enough, but it is significant. But if I told you it's 10 times the amount that goes in for cancer research, I also tell you that 500,000 people will die this year of cancer. And I also tell you that 1 in every 4 will be afflicted with this disease. And yet, for somehow, we seem to have put it in a little bit of the background. I want to bring it back on the front table. We need your help. I need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love. And it's very important. And ESPN has been so kind to support me in this endeavor and allow me to announce tonight that with ESPN's support, which means what? Their money and their dollars, that they're helping me, we are starting the Jimmy V Foundation for Cancer Research. And its motto is, don't give up, don't ever give up. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Every minute that I have left, I will thank God for the day and the moment I have. And if you see me, smile and maybe give me a hug, because that's important to me too. But try, if you can, to support, whether it's AIDS or the Cancer Foundation, so that someone else might survive, might prosper, and might actually be cured of this dreaded disease. I can't thank ESPN enough for allowing this to happen, and I'm going to work as hard as I can, for cancer research, and hopefully maybe we'll have some cures and some breakthroughs. And I'd like to think I'm going to fight my brains out to be back here again next year for the Arthur Ashe recipient. I want to give it next year. I know I've got to go. I've got to go, and I've got one last thing. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those 3 things are going to carry on forever. I thank you, and God bless you all.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Now, hopefully you guys can hear now. Jimmy Valvano. This is 1993. I think it's ESPY Awards he was involved in. And, he died of cancer. What a fantastic coach he was. Anyway, good morning to all of you. A lot of things to talk about today. But first of all, how's it? Oh, let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Can you? My computer is saying that you can hear me now. So let's hope that you can. Anyway, it is a great day to be alive. And don't forget today, I forgot I hadn't been putting my lessons of life up because that's a hallmark of the show. The things that we learn by living. We can learn a lot of, teachers can teach us all kinds of things. Math teacher can teach us about math. Science can teach us about science, at least the best of their knowledge. Your parents can teach about what happened to you if you do something stupid. But life teaches us all those things too, whether we want to learn them or not. And so every day there will be a lessons of life thing on the Facebook page. And I think if you look at it, and if you have some, hey, feel free to email them to me or whatever the case may be, and we will get them. Okay, and we'll give you attribution. I won't even take credit for the nice sayings that the advice that you give us. I really won't. I won't take. Okay, I won't. And the word of the day is ambition. And what does ambition mean? It's something that is sorely lacking in our society today because everybody's waiting on the government to do something. But ambition, a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring, listen to these words, ambition, a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. That is what ambition is. It does seem to be somewhat missing in our young folks today, but hopefully they'll get it right one of these days. Anyway, good morning to you. Now, lesson of life today is this one. You ever notice that even when you think about the tough times of your life, you think about them with a smile, even though they were some of the toughest times in your life. You for some reason, you always look at the past, well, with a sense of achievement. Why, no matter, but while you're going through the storm, it's tough. It really, really, really is. But why do people have a tendency, though? I guess it's kind of like women who have babies. Having that baby. Listen, I couldn't do it more than once. I don't think I could anyway. Okay, I can't do it at all. Okay, I'm not a transgender. But if I was a woman, I would think that I wouldn't. One time's enough, But I know women who have 5 and 6 kids. 5 and 6 times they go through that. But one of the reasons why we're so fond of the past, even though it comes with a lot of tough times, indecisiveness, mistakes, and all of that stuff, it's because the road is always scary when you don't really know where you're going to end up. Once you get there, the past is a victory for you. So keep moving, keep believing. There's good news ahead. But don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. So today's lesson is the past is always looked at fondly because you've been through it. And that's one thing the young folks, no matter how smart they think they are, like I thought I was kind of smart too, But anyway, that's the lesson of life today. Go there and see Jimmy V. What a great lesson he has. Don't ever give up, because quitters don't win, and winners will never ever quit. Woo! Well, it's been an interesting weekend. It's been an interesting weekend. Somebody was killed in my neighborhood, and I just got to. And I talked to. I communicated with the mayor yesterday after listening to him on another radio show with Roscoe and those guys over there, and he said we're going to make it happen. He's going to come on the podcast where everybody can see him around the country and around the world, whatever the case may be, and we'll set him up as soon as I get his people to do it. But who's to blame? I don't know who's to blame, but somebody's to blame. Parents probably more than anybody else. Parents more than anybody else. But we heard the shots Saturday, I mean, we heard the shots, plenty of shots. You know, and some of those shots rung out in our neighborhood over here. Um, and again, I'm not blaming the mayor for the violence because he's not doing it. But I am blaming our leaders for seemingly. Now I could be wrong. I know they're bringing in they had the what do you call them folks, they had the state patrol, the sheriff department, everybody else out here um, patrolling the street for a little while there, and things did seem to crack down. Things did seem to do a bit better job. I mean, our environment seemed to be a little bit more safer, but I think there's got to be more done, and I don't know what the answers are. I really don't, but I do know a lot of people could have been hurt Saturday. A lot of people went over there, and they had at least 50 shots go off, and again, who's to blame? Well, I think a little bit of all of us is to blame. A little bit of all of us. We're either to blame because we didn't get involved enough with some of these people, or we didn't care. I think, and sometimes I'm in the I don't care thing because I think the people are crazy, and but you can't afford not to care because because they'll make you care. they'll make you care. But we're gonna get the mayor on. I know Roscoe over there sucking up to him. Listen, I ain't mad at, but not me. I think who's responsible for the attitude of our city? That has to go to the city council and the mayor. They need to put forth. They need to put forth a team effort to get the message out that we, I mean, we can't stop you from being stupid. Okay, the mayor can, the city council can, but we can sure deal with you once you are. You know, and I think that there ought to be this. I mean, again, herein lies the question the question of the day is this one. Okay, and here's the question of the day: why is it? Somebody tell me why it is that Millbrook, Prattville, Wetumpka, Slap Out, Holtville, why is it that those places don't seem to have the same issues that we have when it comes to living in our city? Why is that? Why is it that we do not have the same? Why don't they have the same problems we have? Is it because they're tougher on crime? Okay, so I'm just wondering, Millbrook, you know, hardly ever hear anybody getting shot or killed over there with Wetumpka, Prattville, Slapper, and all these other non-Montgomery towns. Why don't they have the same problems we do? Because I believe that there is a some of these people think it is unspoken. Of course, it is, but it is unspoken that we that's what we do in the gump. That's what we do, and so they think that they've been given permission to do the things they do. They got a right to do the things that they do. I don't believe that to be so, but that's what some of them believe. So why doesn't anybody got to answer that? I mean, I don't have a clue. Um, I mean, why is that? I have been here, and somebody said the other day, well, everybody's got, and they do. Everybody does have a little bit of crime. We don't expect to live in a world that don't have crime. They had crime in heaven, and the devil was put out. So we know there are going to be people who do stupid things. Okay, Somebody said you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to jail in Elmore County because they call it Hellmore. Is there? Has there somebody know that coming going to jail in Montgomery is pretty good? Or, I mean, going to jail anytime to me is bad. Is a bad idea. But there are some people, because I guess listen. Here's what we're doing. We're all complaining about jobs and things of that nature. So it seemed like to me that our jail time in here is just too easy. It seems like it's too easy. I hope I don't end up there, but if I do, so be it. It seems like it's too easy. It seems like people just not scared of going to jail around here. I mean, are we serving steaks in there or something? I mean, we what's so great about Montgomery jail that people around here don't mind going? I mean, what's so great about it? I mean, can somebody tell me? I mean, it's got to be something that there's got to be something that that's going on. Okay, and I'm trying to make sure that I know. I'm hoping I had my my telephone thing working, but I can't. But nobody really has answered the question why no. Okay, listen, I know part of the answer. I do, but we don't want to say it. Okay, we because politically it won't sound good at all. Okay, politically it won't. And here's my question. And so, as much as we like to live in the past in Alabama, as much as in Montgomery, is like we like to bring up the past, but the only past we seem to bring up is the negative past. Okay, it is a it and we forgot it. We forgot another past of Montgomery, Alabama, and just not only Montgomery, Alabama, but St. Louis, Chicago, Chi-Town, Gary, Baltimore. We forgot another past. We forgot about the past where so many people sacrificed their lives, their fortunes, their posterity. So those are here today, could live a better life in this country. Yeah. We it started kind of rough for my folks. It started kind of rough. I never will forget my mother used to tell me the things that she had to go through down in the Delta. Is that where Jackson, Mississippi is? Is that the Delta? I don't know where it is, but I just know she's from Jackson, Mississippi. And she used to tell me that the horrible things that used to happen to black folks down in Mississippi. And I would have think that Georgia, South Carolina, all place. But we forgot their sacrifice. We forgot, said we're going to bring up the past. We forgot, Mama said, your last name means something. I gave you that last week, a legacy. The legacy those for my mother, older mothers, people in the 80s and late 70s and 80s and up left is hard work and sacrifice. And the pain that came with being black in America at that time, not because the black folks did anything, but because they just happened to be black. Now, what do we owe them? We owe that generation, we owe them to be the best we can be, to do the best you can do, to make us proud. And right now, I'm not very proud to be black in America at the moment. Not because of white folks, but because some of my folk, the people look like me. I'm not very proud. Can we get, Mayor, can we get we always have another life free or live free, whatever the hell that is. We always got this. Can we bring back some pride in being black in America because of the sacrifices that people made? Now the people are still making sacrifices, but the sacrifices are not made because of some dangerous person out in the streets. I mean, well, they're dangerous, all right, but not because some race of people wants to put you down because of your race. No. It's dangerous now. What happened to the pride that came with being black? It's not the Proud Boys. It's not the KKK. It's not any of that. It is our young fellas out here and ladies too, because ladies going crazy too out there. It is that what's just going on. So what happened? Can we come up with a public service announcement every day? Be proud, be respectful, be black, and love it. But we don't. We what happened? What happened? I don't know what happened. Can somebody tell me what happened? Not everybody, of course. You got a lot of great kids around here. You have a lot of them, but we don't put them in the newspaper. It took me forever to get somebody to put every year Montgomery Advertiser for the last couple of years has had Student of the Week, right? Student of the Week. Nobody hardly knew anything about it except the people at the newspaper. We didn't promote that. It was a positive thing. We had every week we designated some kids to vie for Student of the Week in Montgomery Public School. I think they did a terrible job of because it wasn't their fault, but they did a terrible job pushing it too. So the only thing that the only people that are black that we seem to admire around this in America right now is somebody who got a ball in their hand. Okay, basketball, football, baseball, whatever the case may be. What happened to us, these young folks? Okay, what happened? Seriously, what happened? Well, I don't care what our names are, and it is miseducated because they're not. I don't know any pride that comes with. When is the last time James Brown had a thing years ago said, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud," because of the hard times and the things that people went through and the things they came through. Yes, Saturday it was scary around here because I don't live far from where the young man was killed on California Street. Matter of fact, I live about 200 feet from California Street, and it is I don't live far, and it just surprised me. So I go out there and I walk out, and here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. Somebody said we have more people that show up at funerals for you than they show up for you when you need them. Now, I want us to think about that for a second. We have family reunions at funerals and in jail. Why is that? We gotta. I don't know. We something's wrong, and I don't know what. I mean, have you seen 18? I did the research over the weekend. There are approximately 18,000 young men killed in America every year. I believe that is more people, and it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy in Afghanistan. It was a tragedy in Iraq. It was a tragedy in all the combats that we sent our young men to. It was a tragedy, but we have more people killed in this country right here than we did in combat. And every life matters. Or not? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we knew that going to war that we were going to lose some people. What we didn't know, what we still don't understand, is who in the hell we at war with in America. Who are black folks in a war with? Who are black? We're in a war with ourselves. I really don't get it. What happened to that pride thing? What happened to that? What happened? Somebody tell me what happened. I don't know what happened. And and we do. We have. I mean, again, we live in a country right now that the only people we scared of, black folks are scared of, is people who look like us. And they're not old people either. These are not old folks. These are young people who are scared. Listen, I wasn't a perfect kid, but I never I would have never thought to do the things that some of these people do out here. Okay, I expect kids to be, you know, uh, I don't know. I expect kids to do what kids do. But I went across the street over there, and I saw 50 shell casings, approximately 50 shell casings, and bullets travel a long way, And we heard, and my neighbor said he heard bullets hitting somebody's house over there. Somebody else could have been killed who had nothing to do with this. And so I am calling on our legislators and the governor to, and this won't stop a lot of things, but if it stops one person from his reaction to the trials of life is to get a gun, then we need some reasonable gun control. Because right now, if you go down the street and you got 10 weapons in your car, the sheriff said they can't take them. I'm sorry. This is terrible. This is terrible. How many people have to die before we do something about this gun culture? I don't care about New York. I don't care. I'm talking about Montgomery. And Mr. Mayor, listen, let them take us to court. Spending a lot of that money anyway. Let them take us to court. Let them take us to court. We need to do something. I'm a Second Amendment guy, but right now it seems like the only people getting abused by the Second Amendment is people who look like me. Okay, I mean, we need something. I don't think you ought to be able to walk around this city. Okay, and if you do walk around with a weapon on your side, which I guess you got to do, you need to have ID. We need. I realize that. I realize that the cities with the strongest gun laws have the most gun crime. Well, that's because those cities seem like to me the laws they put in place only affect those who don't have a gun. The worst, and I hear what you're saying. So does that mean we don't do anything, Gary? Does that mean that we don't do anything? And listen, I love guns. I love them. They're good for hunting. I don't hunt though. I mean, why go hunt when you go to Winn-Dixie? We can, but we need some sort of. And here's my problem: who is going to be courageous enough? Okay, no. I don't think gun control is the answer, but it is. But you know what? You build a house not just with a hammer, not just with nails, but they're all part of the tools by which to use that house. This would just be another way of trying to, another tool in the arsenal. If nothing else, we need to know who you are. Okay. And somebody says enact possible mandatory gun locks unless you're at a gun range, hunting while in residence. As a matter of fact, Kennesaw, Georgia, they do have. Let me tell you, Kennesaw, Georgia, don't have much crime over there because everybody there legally has to have a gun at home. Not walk around with it; they got to have one at home. So you don't get much pushback in Kennesaw, Georgia, because they have to have a gun. It's a legal requirement, and the theory is, and I think it's working. If people know that you're packing, they're not gonna mess with you. Now that won't stop the guy who's shooting across the street from you and stuff like that. I got that. I don't have all the answers yet, and nobody else, because I would assume. But we need to let these people know that what they are doing is detrimental. See, if they just shot each other, I'm good. If they just shot each other, I'm good. And the mayor, I don't know where the information you got came from. They said crime was down 28%. It's almost as if the crooks are listening to you and say, well, that's not high. That's too low. and ever since you gave us that knowledge the other day, um, you know, um, it's been wild wild west out here. Somebody said to have a mandatory house arrest for people who are out on bail of violent crime. Listen, I'm with you on it. If they got a house, what if they don't have a house? What if they don't have a place to stay? But I'm with you. Um, um, I'm with you. We should put them someplace. Um, because the same people, and the mayor did say something. He said, unfortunately, and we do have a constitution, we do, but maybe we should suspend habeas corpus for some folks for crooks. I don't know. I don't know what the uh, what the answer is. I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. You know, I had never really, in 34 years here, I'd never really thought about leaving. But it may be time, and you can't run away from it because you're going to have crime everywhere. But again, I'm still trying to get the answers to why we're the only city in this area right here to have this problem. I mean, why are we the only city that have this problem? Then we need to copy what Prattville does, what Wetumpka does, what Millbrook does, Slapout does, Hopeville. We need to practice what they do. And what do? They put a boot in your ass. Is what they do. I ain't mad at them. Okay? Excuse my language there. Sorry about that. I got all excited there. But they put a boot in your butt. You know, I don't hear nothing else again about the police too hard on us. Oh, well, so be it. Don't do stupid things. You won't have stupid consequences. Okay, you just won't have them. But this guy said have mandatory house arrest for people who are out on bail for violent crime. I'm with you. I'm what an bracelet mean? Ankle bracelet. All that means is that at least we know where you went when you weren't supposed to go anyplace. So somebody said pack heat. That's the answer. Well, in combat it is. I wouldn't believe that we would need it walking down the streets. Okay, if you leave, it'll be called black flight. Well, I don't want to leave. I got two boys that grew up here that were just fine kids, but one of the problems that we still won't deal with, we will not deal with, and we've got to deal with it. One of the things I want to see the district attorney or the legislators pass a law. We got enough laws. I'm with you. We got enough laws, but we need to start holding. Okay, we need to start holding people accountable for their children's actions under the age of 18, because those people become thugs, they become criminals as they get older. So if the parents won't be involved, then we're going to make them be involved because they'll be in the next cell right next to their kids. Okay, they want to be a DYS and want to be down at MPD. That's what we need to do. We need to. If a parent don't want to be a parent, then we're gonna make them be parents. But we do. We need to start holding people accountable for the actions of their kids, because it's too late once they hit 18. It's too late then because it's just too late then because they're on their own then. Okay, they're on their own then. So, I think that's part of the answer. It's too late when they get 18 years old. Tell me where your daddy at. Okay, with that, and the way I'm thinking, if in fact a woman has a child and she can't tell you who the daddy is, we need to take her child, put him in foster care. Really, because either way it goes, they're gonna catch hell anyway. So they might as well catch hell in foster care rather than somebody who don't know enough so you can tell you who their father is. Because these fathers, these fathers need to be held accountable for the actions of their children. Okay, they just need to be held accountable because right now we're not. And I'm tired of saying we can't talk about that. That you're conflating that with something else. I'm telling you right now, I would guarantee you 75 to 90% of these young men who are involved in these heinous things going on the street don't have a relationship with their dad. I guarantee. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And we need to start holding some of these men accountable for what these kids are heaping upon our society. Okay, and you know what? It's not really their fault. Oh, they're responsible for the actions, but it's not their fault. It's a absent father who you don't have to be in the same house to be responsible for your kids. I probably was a terrible husband, but I've tried to be. I was trying to be a great dad to let them kids know they love. And some of these kids, they just don't feel loved. They really don't. They don't feel loved because unless you can get a hug from the old pop, the old dad, and unless you give them wisdom, give them some advice, they don't feel loved. And this is the way that people, okay, this is the way that people who feel unloved act. And I guarantee if I go down to the jail right now, well, and we could find some of these people who did all this shooting the other day, I will bet a dime to a dollar to a dime that some of these kids don't have a relationship with their dad. And we ought to make mandatory. If they can't do it themselves, then we need to do it for them. As a society, we need to do it for them. And if you don't want to be a father, if you don't want to be a dad, then that's your problem. Okay. And if you abuse your children, then you need to go to jail. Okay. I'm just saying we need to take some drastic measures for what's going on. And it's not just Montgomery either. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in this country where we have urban massacres. That's what we're having all over. And most of the people that do all the crime, street crime, are black young males. 18,000 black males are killed a year in this country. 18,000. More than we lost almost in 20 years of fighting the Taliban and the Afghanis. I mean, hell, it's cheap. It's safer to be in the military fighting somebody than it is to walk down the streets of Montgomery sometimes. Okay? It seems to be. So what do we do? Again, I still don't understand why we know the answer why the other cities don't have this problem. We know. And part of that answer is because I believe proportionately, we probably have more single moms and absent fathers, absent dads from our home that are black folks in Montgomery that don't do than any other place around here. I mean, that's if you want to know the truth, that's what the deal is. If you don't have a father, a dad, somebody that can whoop your butt, get you straight, not necessarily whoop your butt, but if it needs to be, you got to get it done. But these kids are unloved. And it came out of the 90s area. Now, the 90s wasn't the first time that men walked away from their children. My father walked away from me. Okay, I just, what it was. I met him one time, just one time. And all my life, I was mad. I was mad that this man who was my dad didn't think enough of me, and to come find out he had like 16, 17 kids, so he didn't have time. But I was mad because I didn't have that relationship. I don't know the feelings of love from a father. I just don't know it. It's part of my life that never happened. I didn't know what it's like to get a hug, to get some advice. And I was mad. I've been mad a long time. Hell, I'm still mad about it sometimes, that it didn't happen. And so if I'm 68 and it upsets me still that my father walked away from us and never said I love you or anything like that, or hey, do a good job today, whatever the case may be. Yeah, it still ticks me off that it didn't happen. And it is probably, I got to tell you, it has probably affected me doing many things in my life wrongly because I didn't have anybody that I thought cared enough. And when you put a woman under that kind of strain, raising 6 boys and 2 girls, by herself, and some of that goes to the woman, some of that goes the fault of the woman too. But it is what it is. But the man who's supposed to be the man of the house, the man to take care of his kids, I guarantee you, it has affected me in more ways than I even know. And so, if we really believe, and here's the funny thing about it, we have all of these colleges and universities, right? We got all these colleges and universities: Alabama State, Auburn, Alabama, University of Alabama, Birmingham. I mean, we got a Vanderbilt, the mayor's thing, Morehouse. And we take up sociology. Are you telling me that some of these people don't know that not having a father involved with their young men heaps hot coals on an otherwise warm environment? So it's somebody not giving us the information. They're not giving us the information because they don't want us to have it. Okay, I'm just saying. Common sense would tell me, because can anybody else out there tell me why we don't? What's going on? I'm willing to listen to anything. I'm willing to listen to anything that anybody wants to tell me why they think that we have this big problem in our lives. Why do we? Well, I don't know. But if you got an answer, if you want to give us a call, I think my phones are working. 521-2963. I believe we are. I believe it's working. Camilla says corrupt world causes moral decline. 2 Chronicles, if my people are called by my name. Yeah. And we know that verse. We know, humble themselves and seek. Yeah, we know that word. The question is what we do about it. Okay. And forgive them their sins and heal their land. Yeah, we know that verse. So what do we do about it? It's not like we don't have churches. We got plenty. We got 600 churches in Montgomery. We got plenty. We got plenty. And anybody who wants to get to know God or Jesus, they can do that. They can do that. But I guess you got to introduce them. You got to introduce these kids. And again, I think that is. I can't tell people what to believe. I can't tell people what to believe, but everybody believes something. Okay. So, and this environment not only affects our neighbors, it affects us. It affects us as people, as a group. And I hear this thing downtown. I hear this thing in Alabama since I've been here. Well, we got the village. I got to tell you, a village has never raised a child. Never. It's been parents who raised the child. The village may have helped supervise the child, but raising the child, I'm sorry, that's on the parents right there. So this thing about, well, grandma used to hit me, Uncle John used to hit me, and all blah blah blah. Okay, I hear you. That's not raising the child. That's disciplining the child on the way by. So this village thing, and so we become so convinced that the village is actually doing something. It's not. Because if that were the case, we got a lot of villages around here, and we are still getting the same thing. So again, why is it? I'm waiting for somebody to answer me. Why is it that the other cities around us don't have the same problems? Okay, I think we know the answer, but I'm willing to listen to it. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Where you at? I mean, can somebody tell me? I mean, what can we do about this? Okay, or is it too far gone? Really, is it too far gone to worry about it anyway? Is it too far? We just have. I mean, Saturday was traumatic in this city. It was traumatic in this city. Okay, and I guess now I'm only saying that $3 million that we gave Live Free and the Office of Violence Prevention. I guess those officers are not working. So, Mayor, close the door to those places. They don't. They will never take the place of a responsible father. They will never do that. So we can spend money. There's some things money cannot fix. And right now, the Office of Violence or whatever Violence Prevention is doing exactly the opposite. Okay. Yeah, my phone. I think my phones work. Yeah, I think they do. I think it's somebody call and give me a commo check here because what's the number? 334. What is the number here? I don't know. Whatever the number is. Oh, 521-2963. Let me see if I can get that done. Let me just make sure the phone works. You never can tell because everybody ought to be on this. Okay, so $3 million dollars to Live Free, and all we get out of that is a bill to go to them. Yeah, violence prevention is working. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, really didn't work this weekend, or a couple other weekends ago too. So let me see here. 334. Let me make sure I get this thing right. Okay. Just make sure the phones work. Cause somebody's got to have something to say. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. So somebody has got to have something to say about this because this is extremely disturbing what I saw this weekend. See, most of the time you hear about these things, and because they don't affect you, that's no big deal. Another piece of the news. But when it happens in your backyard, when it happens in your own backyard, it's kind of it's kind of difficult when it happens, and it is it makes you think because somebody over here could have been killed as the bullets came whisking through the neighborhood, and they came whisking through the neighborhood, and wow. I mean, anybody could have been outside on the street walking. And one guy I was coming down the street, the guy was ducking behind houses and stuff like that. I mean, this neighborhood I live in is a pretty good working neighborhood where people just go to work every day, do their thing, come on back home and play with the kids, or whatever the case may be. We don't have a lot of thugs, a lot of people like that. But the thugs' reach is far beyond their grasp. And so we got to do this. So we need to do something about the gun culture in Montgomery. And if that means, and if the mayor says, you know what, again, if nothing else, we need to make these people have an identification. Yeah, I know it won't stop people, but if you don't have ID and you're carrying a gun, then we ought to be able to take your gun because we don't know who you are. You could be a crook and say, arresting people. Well, again, then what do we do? If the judges don't do their part, we do have I hate to bring this up periodically, but we do have a constitution. I don't want to run roughshod over the Constitution, even though the crooks don't really deserve it. But there ought to be something that we can do. What that is, I just don't know. And that isn't that why we hire people who supposedly are smarter than we are to take these jobs that we have. I mean, isn't that why we I mean, isn't that why we do these things? So these, because these are supposed to be some smart people. I mean, isn't that why we do that? Okay. Um, but anyway, I just thought we would ask the question there, because there's always something around here that's going on that we cannot control. I realize that, but we need to. This gun culture has got to go, because ain't nobody getting hurt by it but black people. Now, every once in a while, the white guy get crazy too, but not too often. Not too often. Okay, not too often. So, but aren't that? But the reason why we get people around here, um, to the reason why we get people around here to uh, do these things is because they're supposed to be smarter than we are. And all I hear, well, we can't do nothing about it. Then maybe we'll start putting people in that can, they at least have a plan when they go in. And whether or not that plan comes to fruition or not, well, but show me the attempt. He said there are elected officials too. Every last judge ran unopposed, yeah, in their last elections. But everybody runs for mayor and city council say crime is their number one priority. Well, it probably is, but nobody has a. And my thing is that, listen, I don't mind. I don't mind people losing a fight, but what I do mind if you don't fight at all. That's where I'm really lost here. We don't seem to fight. We have seemed to have given up the ship. Okay. But I'm telling you, unless we start holding some of these dads accountable, and not even so much the mothers, dads accountable, because we always got this thing. But I'm the man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I mean, every movie we see, I'm a man. Well, what does that mean? What does being a man really mean? You're a man when it's a wait a minute, wait a minute. You're a man when it's to your advantage to be one, and not so much when you decide not to be one. I'm just trying to. What does being a man mean? It means taking your responsibility for. The main thing you need to do is take responsibility for your kids. And again, if a woman tells us she don't know who the daddy is, take the kids, because they're gonna catch hell anyway. So we might as well let them catch hell in the foster home. Really, I mean, I really mean that. If you don't know who he is, that means you with too many people. Take the kids, take them. Okay, I'm just because that child has been doomed from the beginning. His life is going to be hell from the beginning. Okay, now if you're one of them rich people, and I'm fine. Rich people can always figure out a way to use money. The Bible said money answers many things, and I'm with you. So you can get a nanny, or you can buy a daddy. So I don't know, but you certainly don't need, if you can't figure out who the father is of your children, then you certainly don't need any. You don't need any. Okay, and we need to get a grasp on this right now, where we have another generation of kids who have family reunions in jail. Okay. And most of them don't even know a lot of them don't know who their daddy is till they meet him in jail. Never seen him. Now they're right in there, not in the next cell next to him. That's a shame. Okay. So anyway, again, I still haven't, nobody's answered the question. Why is it that none of these other cities have this kind of problem around here? Why is that? I've been here 34 years, never heard. Oh, there've been shootings in Prattville, but most of them came from Montgomery. There've been shootings in Millbrook, but not very many. So why don't they have the same problem? I mean, come on. We know why. And you can't scream racism because ain't nobody killing us but us. So it's not about race, but it is about putting forth a determined, putting forth a disciplined image for our city. We are not going to tolerate this stuff. Okay, me personally, I think they ought to take the phone booth and beat the hell out of some of them on their way to jail. because all this niceness stuff not going to get it. It hadn't got it. Okay, they can say what they want to say about Emory Farmer, but we didn't have all this when Emory. I got here in '91. And Emory Farmer was married. We didn't have these conversations like this. So what was the difference between Emory, Bobby, Todd, Mr. Reed? What's sure, everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own style of leadership. I got that part. But if you don't put up a attitude of no nonsense. Now, I did hear the mayor say something on the Steven Roscoe show about discipline. Well, Elkin's been talking about discipline since I've been on the radio. And until we get it, and that's why I wouldn't want a city school system, because they'd be too concerned about Shamika coming up there, or Latravius, whatever the name we're naming our kids nowadays. They'll be too scared to do anything because politics will be involved. If a man gets a woman pregnant, no, they've been doing that for years. Look at David and Bathsheba. No, but if you get a woman pregnant and you don't do that, for, because if we start putting people in jail for moral lapses, we wouldn't have anybody walking the street. But that's a legal issue, and I think that but you put his butt in jail if he ain't taking care of it. You put him in jail. I mean, that's what you got to do. Put him in jail. You don't wait for 18 years and say, oh, you owe back child support. I'm sorry, I'm that dog ain't gonna hunt. No. And here's another question: If a woman gives it to him without being married to him, should she go to jail? So you cannot stop. Montgomery had between 20 and 41 murders per year when Emory was mayor. Well, not when I got here. I don't know. I mean, he was mayor for 20 years or so, since 77. I mean, I know when I got here, it wasn't. And again, who were the victims and who were the assailants? Even in those, who were the victims and assailants in those? Most of when I got here in '91, it was black folks shooting one another too. Then. As a matter of fact, somebody was telling me, Donald Jenkins told me there's a place called a Bucket of Blood or something like that. They named this place because so many black folks got killed over there. What is this thing about black folks killing one another? Don't we have enough things to worry about in our society besides that? I mean, where did this come from? I mean, I thought about doing a lot of things in life. Never thought about killing anybody. Is it the chicken? Really? Is it what we eat? Is that what it is? Are we eating the wrong thing? Is it medicine? Is it Ritalin? I mean, is it? I mean, after all these years, somebody should have known that. Somebody should have done a study about this already. Is that what it is? Or our kid, which is one of the reasons why I was never going to let anybody put Z or Emmanuel on this stupid medicine. Okay, we take what is normal for kids to do now, and we call it a sickness. Kids have energy. What your job is to learn how to direct that energy in a positive way. If he's bored in school, give him more homework. Okay. If he can't stand still, then put him in the corner. Let him stand up. Let him put him in the back of the room. Let him stand up so he don't distract everybody else. And then when he get tired, he can sit down. But we have taken boys who have this thing called testosterone, and evidently it's an illness now to have testosterone. Okay, and boys who don't get to work out by dads and things of that nature, they don't do too well in school, because school has become we don't do gym anymore. Do we do gym anymore? Do we really do we even do gym anymore? Really, do we? I don't even think we do. So again, what is the difference between Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, Hopeville, Slapout, and other cities, even even Tuskegee don't have the shooting stuff that we have. So what is it? I'm never waiting for somebody, somebody to answer that question. Okay. You try getting that conviction with all these liberal Democrat jurors, the only ones that want real justice are the victim's family. That's true. That's why the DA quit. Well, then do we say the DA just gave up? Is that what we're saying here? The DA just gave up? If you want to, somebody answer me. Why do we have the problem in Montgomery, no place else? No, well, not to the extent that we have it in Montgomery. 521-2963. If you want to give us a call, not a problem. Y'all can't come up with any answers out of this. Okay. 2963. Okay, 2963. See, now we're looking for advice. We're looking for advice, and we can't seem to find any. So what's wrong with you guys out there today? Now we can talk about anything else that doesn't really matter, but when it comes to this, then we just silent out there. We're just silent. Again, why do we have the problems here, but we don't have them in other cities and around here? Around in New York, St. Louis, that don't count. But why don't we have it? So somebody can call me. They can call and tell me what's up with that. Or do we really? Or is it that we just don't want to deal with the truth? I think that's what it is. I think we have a problem with truth. And the truth is that our young men are out of control. That's the truth. That's just the truth. Men are recklessly irresponsible when it comes to their kids, and nobody holds them accountable except the Department of Health and Human Resources, whatever it is. You're back on child support. Okay. Women had started having babies years ago so they can get a check. That was the federal government. There was a guy named what was his name? He was a New York congressman, and he said years ago, when we started replacing men in the home with a check, he said these things were going to happen. What was that guy's name? Monty, I can't think of his name right now, but I'll come up with. But he did say, okay. So Prattville to Montgomery. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and again, we're not trying to say that things don't happen in Prattville, but even this crook drove his bike to Montgomery. I guess he thought he was going to find safe passage here. I don't know, but they did shoot him the other day. Again, don't do stupid things, and you won't have stupid results. Okay, if the police gets after you, stop. Just stop. There's too much YouTubing going on. Okay, I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm this and I'm that. Well, at that particular time, when you're on the side of the road, is the wrong time to argue with police. Yeah, some of them have attitude. Some of them think they have preconceived notion that you're a crook when they stop the car. I feel you. So why give them more ammunition to do stupid things to you? Okay, so just stop. You'll never get away. We got radios, we got strips. They're gonna get you one way or the other. Okay, they got more cars than you. You got one car. They got plenty. Okay, because nothing's good. I can tell you this for an absolute fact. Nothing good is going to happen if you run away from the police. Nothing's good is going to happen. It's like going to court. There ain't but one or two things going to come out of the courtroom. One or two things. You're going to win or you're going to lose. If you win, still going to cost you some money. If you lose, it's going to cost you some money. So what we need to do is just stay out of Stay out of the system. Don't do dumb things. Then you don't have to worry about dumb consequences. Okay. Trust me, I wish somebody told me that a long time ago. Well, now I haven't spent too much time in court, but I have spent a little bit of time in court, but not maybe once or twice. I think anyway. It is what time is it? It is 8:24 in the morning. So nobody wants to. Well, I appreciate you guys texting us and everything, but no. So nobody has anything to say, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to figure. I'm just trying to figure out what the deal is. Do we? But let me put it to you this way: do we as black men not really want to deal with this issue? Really, we don't want to deal with this issue about our kids that grow up to be young men and turn out to be tyrants and misfits on the street. Do we not want to? You can't have that conversation no place in America, because then we start going back to 1962. Well, this is what happened when. Okay, so we start going back and back and back and back, and that won't help us today. Okay, so I mean, just tell me. And I will say something else. I think courts often are just as bad as a woman by thinking we're nothing but a dollar bill. Well, again, that's still our fault. That's still our fault, because had we put a cap on it, we wouldn't have to worry about it. But we didn't. So at the end of the day, when we look in the mirror, the person that is looking back is most responsible for the situation that you find yourself in. And that's yours truly also. Okay, that's yours truly also. I've done some dumb things too. So, but the one thing I didn't do and leave my boys out there to suffer by themselves. And I'm sorry, that dog wasn't gonna hunt. So we need to do two things. We need to have some sort of gun control. I don't know what that looks like. That's why we pay them $69,000 a year for a part-time job to last for about 3 months every year. $69,000 a year to come up with legislation that actually does some good. Okay, rather than worry about paraphernalia for folks who want to smoke marijuana in stores, Steve Marshall. Rather than do that, we can come up with some solutions to some of these social problems. We are surrounded by 7 colleges. Montgomery has a representative of 7 colleges and universities in this city. What good is all that academia if we can't come up with a simple solution for the problem that we're having? Sociology, the study of our society. What good is that study if we don't ever do anything about it? So just tell me. I mean, all this academia around us, and we haven't solved one issue. So are these college degrees that everybody spent all this money for, are they worth anything? I would say no, not very much, except the science one. Doctors, even lawyers. The most of that's theory also, but we know science is good, because see, here's the nice thing I love about science. It can be proven and disproved. Where academia, those philosophical things, well, one man's opinion based on another. One man's opinion is just as good as anybody else's philosophically. And Martin Luther King did a speech about your life's philosophy. And what is philosophy? It is the study of all things that make us who we are and why we believe the things we believe. That's your life's philosophy. And what your philosophy is built on is important, because it steers you for the rest of your life. It's partly responsible for where you end up at, good, bad, or indifferent. If you have a philosophy of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, you'll probably be okay. But if your philosophy is don't blame anyone, I didn't do it because somebody was an impediment. Somebody impeded my growth. Somebody impeded my travels. Then you'll probably, you'll probably be. That's one of those 4,200 beds we got out there. Have we put anybody? Have we started putting anybody in the new prison yet? Anybody know? 4,200 beds out there. That's a lot of beds. That's a lot of people in one place. How many people can we get on an aircraft carrier at one time? I don't even think we can get that many people on an aircraft carrier, can we? I think we can get that, what 5,000 people on an aircraft? That's a lot of people on the aircraft carrier too. But is that what we're doing? I mean, can we not figure this out? All these smart professors, all these smart politicians, can we not figure out a solution to anything? I don't think we can. I think we're incapable intellectually of dealing with the truth of the matters. I think we are. We're too worried about somebody is going to not vote for me. Somebody's not going to like me. I don't care. I was in church a couple weeks ago, and I asked one of the priests, I said, how come we don't talk about this? And some guy said, well, because if you do, they'll run you out of here. Is that what we're worried about? Really? Is that what are we worried about pleasing somebody? It seems to be. It seems to be that. Yeah. Anyway, I got to take a pause for the calls. A couple minutes here. Got to take a break, but we'll come back and we'll. Man, it's getting late already. It's 8:30. Well, I've been here on an hour and a half already. So far though, nobody's answered the question. Nobody's answered the question of why it is that we don't have this problem that we have in other places. Well, in smaller cities. Did too many of us live in Montgomery? Is that what it is? Anyway, we'll be back. Y'all hang loose. Okay, we're back. It does something to you when you walk around the corner from your house and see a dead young person on the landing yard, their yard. It just I don't know if that was his yard or not. Well, let me put it this way: it puts life in a different perspective. I mean, you hear about it all the time, right? That happened way on the west side of town. It's okay. Sorry about that, and you keep on moving. But when you see it in person, it changes your thought pattern. It changes your and young. It's always young people doing this. It changes you. last couple of days we've lost some people, but some of them I didn't see them. I didn't know who they were, and I didn't know who this person was either. But when you see them, they were young. Their lives were just beginning. You know that, and it just it's it does something to you to see somebody lying dead on the ground. I've only seen that. I've only seen that once, and uh, it affects you. I mean, I've seen remains come back at Dover Air Force Base, and my sister and people like that. But I've never seen what I saw yesterday. I mean, Saturday. I never saw that before. I just it kind of messes with your mind, because you know what? It could have been anybody. As many guns that they were shooting, um, you know, as many people shooting around here because we we allow people to walk around with with a gun walking down the street. It could be anybody any day. It ought to be a holiday in Alabama, in Montgomery, Alabama, when you get through a day without anybody being killed. We ought to give everybody else the next day off, um, because it happens so often around here until it becomes a natural part of the day. Okay, our numbers again at 521-2963. If you want to, somebody's got y'all. Everybody, I appreciate the texts, but I got this. I'm trying to figure out if my phone's working anyway. Because yesterday, other day, they couldn't hear the people on the phone. So somebody just give me a call. See if I can make sure everything's going all right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I saw they killed the guy in the Prattville to Montgomery chase, and I thought the guy was in the car, but he was on a motorcycle. Um, and I don't know what that was all about. Um, I just you don't win. You don't win in that race. Okay. Anyway, the other thing to worry about, since we're just going to go ahead and there are some other things that are happening. The other day, and again, um, the, the, the hello. Now, I know it's working, but I can't. Oh, yeah, I know the phone's working. I just don't know if people can hear people having the conversation. Because last Friday they told me, or Thursday they couldn't hear. Did anybody hear her? Just let me know if you heard her. Then if that's true, then I know I got it. I got it where it's supposed to be. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So somebody call and give me a let's have a small conversation, because I need to know that if other people can hear, because I had to change some settings the other day. Okay, so they couldn't hear. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can do something about that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. Well, Gary, give me a call so I can see what I got going wrong here, because I'm trying to figure out what to do. This active uh, um, conversation we have with people. Most podcasts don't do that. But I know the first day I was here, I had it. So let me see what's going on here. But hopefully we will get it. Anyway, the numbers here are, if you want. Yeah, I just need one person to call me just to make sure. Y'all are helping me. Um, y'all are helping me become a better podcaster. I'm trying to involve some technology. Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. So so you can't hear Dr. Joe. You can't hear when somebody's on the phone. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, since I got you anyway, so what's our solution to the problems? Well, that's true. Yeah, I got that part. Yeah. No, no, but you use that. I mean, guns are used to kill people. I realize the guns don't have a brain. Or they can be. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to take that away from people. Uh, yeah, that happened the other day. I didn't know he was shooting the church, but I know he came to my. He was coming from Prattville, and yeah, and he came to Montgomery. He came through Montgomery. And they shot him here. Yeah. Mm. All right. Well, let me see if I can figure out. Now we talked long enough now, so someone sure ought to be able to tell me if they hurt you. If not, I got to figure something else out. Okay, then. Appreciate it. All right. All right. I could have sworn I had that working the first day I did that. All right. Well, I'll figure it out. I will. I will figure it out because that's important. Okay. Let me see here now. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay then. Well, I just don't know. Said the man. I just don't know. I figured out though as we go along the way here. All right then. It's supposed to be working anyway. Okay then. Other thing. I was going to go to some other things since we don't seem to want to really talk about that very much. So, but it's a conversation that's got to be had. I mean, and the mayor is upset with the lieutenant governor for the crime criticism that Ainsworth had bestowed upon Montgomery. He said, "I'm not worried about credit because I focus on results." Well, let's not focus on let's let's not focus on Saturday then, because if that's the results if those are the results we got to look forward to, then we probably don't want them. Okay, Ainsworth touched on several topics while meeting with the Republican women. The topic that caught the illustrious eye of Mr. Reed when Ainsworth addressed the state's effort to tackle crime. It's a great time, said Ainsworth, to be a Republican. Ainsworth talks transportation, backing family, how it isn't Stephen Reed who's making Montgomery safer. 1819 News recently reported that Reed's statements in which he claimed that the crime was decreased by 28% in the city in the first half of the year compared to previous ones. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed claims that violent crime down 28% in the capital city. In 1819 News accurately reported that in his list of acknowledgments for the effort was to reduce crime, Reed failed to mention the Metro Area Crime Suppression Unit, otherwise known as MAX, which began operating in June last year to address the escalating crime in the capital city. The MAX unit, of course, was more or less forced on Reed. At the press conference announcing that the unit's formation in July 2024, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, otherwise known as ALEA, Secretary Hal Taylor, Attorney General Steve Marshall, and Montgomery Sheriff Derek Cunningham, and then interim Montgomery Police Chief James Graybores all spoke in support of the unit. Graybores said the city is under directive of Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed has contributed members to its SWAT and gang suppression units to the MAX unit. However, Marshall went on out of his way to emphasize that the units did not emerge as a result of Reed or his office, contradicting Reed's claims to WSFA, in which he claimed that Max came from his contacting ALEA and other law enforcement agencies. He said, "I can't tell you this effort did not begin as a result of a phone call." He said, "I can tell you this effort did not begin after a phone call, I guess, from the mayor." Ainsworth took umbrage with Reed's lack of acknowledgement of the MAX unit. Well, we all pay them all. I mean, we all pay the tax. It doesn't really make any difference why or what. We all pay them. They all get paid taxpayers' dollars. Claiming Reed was taking credit for a lot of work that other people did. Well, I mean, The government takes work for other people doing. The general takes work for what the captains do. What the general takes work for what the colonels do. The colonel takes credit for what the lieutenant colonel does. The lieutenant colonel takes credit for what the major does. The major takes credit for what the captain does. The captain takes credit for what the lieutenant does. And the lieutenant takes credit what the sergeants do. Okay? And sergeants take credit for what the lower sergeants do, like myself. And then we take credit for what the privates do. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? That's just the way it goes. It's called delegation of authority. That's just the way it goes. Somebody is always taking credit for somebody else. Doesn't matter though. We're all on the same team. Okay. Here's an issue that came up last night as I was traversing the news cycle. You know, there's a thing called gender fluid clothing. Oh yeah. And they're trying it on black folks. Anything new, they try it on black people first. Okay, they just do. Gender fluid clothing. It means we're no longer in certain areas of America. We're no longer going to have men's and women's clothing. We're going to have clothing that can fit either one. So you won't be able to tell George or Georgette going down the street. Okay, you won't be here. So from now on, when somebody robs a place and they got on gender fluid clothing, well, we think it was a man, but I'm not sure. We think it was a woman, but I'm not sure. And of course, they bring this to the hood first, to try it out and see if it works out. And if it works out, then that's good. If not, they get rid of it. So what we now have is ambidextrous clothing. Okay, where the clothes can be worn by men or female. Now, what do you think about that? Seriously? Really? Yeah, that's why I got all praise. They didn't like me over there. Because you can't, we don't want to hear the truth. We just want to hear something make us feel good. But I'm going to get back to this gender fluid clothing thing here now. So now we're going to try, we already got a problem now with men thinking they're women. Now we're going to have a problem where men are going to dress like a woman and the woman's going to look like the man because we got gender fluid clothing now. We have clothing now that you can't tell whether it's a man or woman that's wearing it. I don't know who made somebody think that this is a good idea. Okay, I don't know. Somebody said Camilla Hook should be stoned. Well, I don't know, but I don't know if she should be or not. But so what you think about that? Gender fluid clothing. That is now I got to figure out how to, because I could have sworn we had people listening to people on the phone last week. So let me see what has happened here and what has changed, and I'll get that squared away. Hopefully by tomorrow. Anyway, so much for that. Let me see now. Gender fluid clothing. Okay, well, let's see how this works. Okay. Oh, and whatever we do, we need to pray for those folks in Texas. The flood has caused immense heartbreak. Over 100 people dead that we know of. But more importantly than that, there's 160 people missing. Okay. And here's a story that just broke my heart yesterday when I read this. There were two sisters who were missing. And they were looking for them. Two sisters, amongst all the other people. And they found them. There were 13 and 11. They were found drowned, but holding hands together when they died. That was just, wow, that is just, this is, besides the Titanic, has there been a worse tragedy on water in this country besides this? So it looks like to me we got almost 200 people, almost 300 people either dead or missing in Texas. I think it's called the Guadalupe River. Wow. 13 and 11 found drowned but holding hands. Mother Nature can be a monster. President Trump, of course, has had enough. He did go down there and check it out, and somebody was complaining about that. Sometimes there's a reason to complain, and sometimes there isn't. They're just we don't have one. Just but I mean, can the guy do anything right? Can he do anything right? I mean, some of these people would complain if people gave them $1 million, but they said they can't pick it up till tomorrow. Well, why can't I pick it up today? Because tomorrow's the day you can get it. Anyway, moving right along, but gender fluid clothing, so we got that going on. It seems like Trump and Putin are not necessarily the greatest friends anymore. Also, the U.S. attorney is charging 10 Antifa, whatever they call them, Antifa terrorists with attempted murder of ICE agents in January 4th ambush. Hey, listen, you want to play the big boys? Okay. Here's something that Supreme Court has ruled. He cleared the way for Trump to downsize the federal workforce. Now, let me tell you something about the federal workforce. Everybody thinks that this guy is doing a bad thing because he has getting rid of some dead weight. A lot of these people should have retired a long time ago. They bought some of them out. A lot of them just said, "Retire. We're not coming back. This is what we're gonna do. This." The workforce in his first term, the workforce grew modestly by 78,000 people. The annual separations in 2017 was 400. The annual was 468,000 federal workers at that time, but 189,000 quit. 157 were laid off. Okay, so let's see who has the most federal workers and why they need to go. The State Department has 1,300 employees. Okay, they terminated 1,000 and 1,107. Okay, civil service and 246 service members. Okay, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, they got 800 to 880 probationary staff. They cut that. HHS, I don't really know what HHS is, but of 5,200 employees, 10,000 were voluntary ER, emergency response, major cuts across the board. Let's see, HUD did 4,000 layoffs. U.S. Forest Service had 3,400 cuts. But here's the thing I looked up. Every president, whether it's Obama, Carter, Bush, every president has tried to cut the workforce, the federal workforce, because we keep getting more and more and more top heavy. Okay, top heavy, and that money has to come from someplace. Okay, so that money has to come from someplace, and it comes from us. So they probably got too many people up there in there. And with AI, with all this AI stuff going on, we're gonna need less and less employees. We're just gonna need. But Obama cut some. Obama cut some. Trump cut some in both terms, and Biden cut some also. But you never hear about, because to tell you the truth, most of the time I go in a federal building. I mean, you see more people walking around looking at you like what you're doing there than you do actually working. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know how many federal workers we actually have right now, but we got a few. Okay, and getting back to the shootings, we had 4 shootings Saturday within hours of each other, with over 40 shots. There's almost 50 shots over Lower Wetumpka Road. A man, of course, was injured shooting near Highland Road, which is Highland Park, which is where I live it over here. Montgomery police are investigating a shooting that injured a man Saturday night. MPD and fire medics responded to the 800 block of Ann Street of Highland Park neighborhood about 8:30, and it just go on and on and on and on. MPD is searching for a man. They got a picture of him in the newspaper who was breaking in people's cars. And, do they not understand that we have, really, do these people not understand that there's cameras everywhere now? I mean, there's cameras everywhere. If you're that stupid, you don't know why you need to go to jail. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. So they got a nice picture of him in the newspaper, stealing people's cars. And if you're gonna steal somebody's car, at least you can put some unidentifying clothes on you, okay? And they got you, brother. It's just a matter of time before they get you, okay? I'm just saying. And one more thing, Shamari Figures has introduced a piece of legislation. So college athlete should not be paid. About this name and likeness thing, where all these athletes are getting all this money, which I don't think they should. I don't think college athletes ought to get paid, but I do believe they ought to get a stipend. I do believe that if you are making that university money, and the quarterback shouldn't get any more money than the linebackers or whatever, everybody should get a stipend, because they won't let you work and all kinds of things. So I'm thinking and everybody gets the same amount. Everybody gets the same amount. You just because your name is Tim Tebow or your name is Hunter, the guy from Cover, you in college, everybody gets the same amount. This thing, because what you're going to end up doing is destroying college football. Because why in the world should the guy who's a college athlete, the same as you are, why should he get $1 million a year from anybody, and you get $1,000? No, I think everybody should get a stipend. Everybody should get a stipend from the guy, since college football does bring in an awful lot of money. And if it weren't for college football, a lot of these other things. They couldn't have, other sports couldn't have, especially the small colleges. But again, if they have revenue sharing, I'm not really a sports guy, but I know reason and logic when I see it. If they have revenue sharing, then that means as long as everybody gets the same amount of money while they're in college, I don't think they should get paid. If you're that good, you're going to end up in the pros anyway, and they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you all kinds of insane money. And then you'll be broke 5 years after you get done, because you took all your money, you bought lions and tigers and Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And so you'll be broke anyway. So you'll be broke again. I was surprised that Evander Holyfield's only worth $1 million. All that money he made worth $1 million. That's it. But at least he ain't totally broke. And it looks like who's the boxer? What's his name? What's the guy's name? The boxer, good boxer too for a while. He threw a fight though a couple months ago, playing that guy who on the internet boxer. What's the guy's name? Short guy. And boy, but my mind's getting bad. Oh well, I can't think of his name, but everybody knows him. Iron Mike. That's right, Iron Mike. Mike is getting the comeback. At this point, it doesn't make a difference who we believe. College players do get paid now. Cannot put the genie back in. I think you can. I think you can say everybody. You give them a stipend. You don't let businesses and producers and Nike and Under Armour. I don't think you allow them to mess up college sports, because that's exactly what's going to happen. When the players start making tremendous amounts of money, college players start making more than the coach, they're not going to listen to the coach. Now, you give everybody the same amount of money. I don't care if it's $2,000 a month, $3,000, whatever it is. You give everybody the same amount of money, or else college football, as we know, it won't last very long. It won't be here. It won't be here a whole lot longer. Anyway, all right, got to run. But hey, nice talking to y'all today. And so hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.